So thanks for everyone coming today. I didn't expect such a big crowd. I think start off by saying about 4 or 5 weeks ago after the surgery, the doctor pretty much said straight away I can never play rugby again, which was very tough. I've been sort of coming to terms with it the past 4 or 5 weeks, trying to get my head around it. And I think the hardest part is knowing something that I've loved doing for so long, since I was 8 years of age, and to hear it from a doctor that I can't do that anymore is a pretty tough pill to swallow. I spoke to a lot of people, so a lot of good friends, a lot of good family about this, and I've had a lot of good support from really close friends. So in saying that, start out by thanking my mum, dad, my sister, my fiance especially, and I think a big one is my teammates, blokes like Deno, blokes at the back. That's what really makes a club. This is what really makes the Waratahs, Eastwood, the Wallabies, whatever it is. It's these blokes next to you that make you want to come in every day and make it special. So in saying that, I've had a lot of good coaches over the years. I'm very thankful for that. I've had a lot of good people in my life. From my early rugby days, playing at Beecroft, playing at Dural, going to Kings, playing at Eastwood. I don't want to ramble on here, but this has really made me who I am today. I think rugby's been a big part of my career for so many years. That for it to end like this is just very disappointing. But a big thank you to the Waratahs. It's a really special place to come here and play. I think I'm very fortunate to have pulled on the jersey for so many years. I think for me, the first time I pulled on the jersey is a very special moment. I think any time you get given that jersey to wear, you're only in it for a very short time. And that's a very special moment that hold really dear to me. So thanks to everyone involved in my career. I know I've mentioned a few people already, but it means a lot to me to see so many people in this room, and yeah, thanks very much.
I think just from a playing point of view, I mentioned a few words in the press release, but it's very hard to write a couple of lines on Benn's involvement with the club since he first came here. Our greatest disappointment as a playing group is the fact that he hasn't been able to end his career on his own terms. And I think for someone that has committed so much of his time and his life to the Waratahs and Australian rugby, it's a great disappointment that he can't end on his own terms. But in saying this, and I said this to the playing group, he's achieved a lot. He retires as the most capped Waratah ever, which is a huge achievement in our proud history as a club, and obviously a number of times representing the Wallabies. And I'm sure in great time he'll look back and reflect on that and be very proud of that achievement, as he should be. And on top of that, he's been a great teammate, and from a playing perspective, as you finish your time playing rugby, we all will at some stage. What you hold dearly is those relationships and those friendships the rest of your life. And I know Ben at some stage you'll be involved more with the Waratahs, mate. And just on behalf of the playing group and everyone, thanks for everything you've done, mate. So,
thanks, David. I suppose if anyone's got any questions, you can fire it away.
And you were saying how special it was when you first pulled on that Waratahs jumper. Did you ever think you'd get anywhere near 155 caps?
No, not at all. I think you're very fortunate every time your name gets called out to actually play for the Waratahs. I think it's a very special moment. I think every player sits there in the room and just can't wait for their name to be called. I think as a playing group, you do realise, how much work's involved actually to get your name called out, so that's very special. But for me, this you know, the blue jersey's been a part of my life since 2004. So it's something I'm going to hold and cherish very dearly. I think, you know, whether it's your first or your last cap, you hold, you know, that cap or that jersey in such high regard.
How's your eye coming along, Ben? How's your eye coming along?
Yeah, it's yeah. I think the doctors went in there, and I've got Sharon in the back here. The doctors went in after surgery and found a few more issues than initially thought. But my vision's not quite there yet. I think, yeah, there could be some more surgeries in the future, but my vision's still blurry in the right eye. So that's probably potentially going to stay like that. So I think there's going to be some long-term issues around my eye which might need to be addressed. But at the moment, like for the first 3 or 4 weeks, I couldn't do anything really. You know, I couldn't really drive, couldn't train. So yeah, but it's, you know, I was sitting in the office 2 weeks ago, and I heard a story about a guy getting a brain tumour. I thought, you know, I've got a poke in the eye. There's worse things in life than a poke in the eye. But you know, as I said, I'm very fortunate. I'm very lucky to have such a long career. I wasn't expecting a poke in the eye to finish me. I was more worried about my back or my neck, but it's a little thing in the eye that's done it for me.
Talk about your highlights of your career.
Yeah, I think my biggest, it'd be easy for me to say winning the premiership or my first cap, but I think, you know, when you walk into this office every single day, that's special. You know, that's, I think, something I'm going to miss the most. You know, coming in here, seeing the boys, you know, that, as I said, I'm very lucky to be playing for so long. And I think that's probably my biggest highlight. So.
Dave, can you describe Ben as a player and what he's brought to the Waratahs?
I think from a playing perspective, the biggest thing that Ben's brought is consistency, particularly around the scrum. It's such an important part of winning rugby games, and the way he scrummaged and held himself on the field over such a long period of time is a huge achievement. You see good props come and go, but someone to be able to do it for so long, and it's tough. People, you know, we're very fortunate in the lives we live, but it is challenging. You've got to make sacrifices and commitments. You've got to put your body on the line, you know, and he mentioned his back and neck, and these sort of things people don't quite understand, and he's been able to, his resilience, a couple of injuries as well. Unfortunately missed out on a couple of key moments in his career around World Cups through injury, but he's bounced back. They've been very consistent in his job for our team, and that's ultimately providing a solid scrum. So, and from that, I think a lot of younger guys have learned from that as well around his scrummaging, and I think that's his job in our team, and he's done that so well for so long over a long period of time. And that's, from a playing point of view, that's all you can ask of your fellow teammate, to do your job well, and he's been able to do that. And not many people can. There's not many people who can scrummage for a long period of time the way he has. So, you know, and never been the biggest prop either. You know, giving away a lot of kilos against a lot of big men, but always managed to find a way. So, being able to adapt, being able to use his strengths on the field, and that's a great quality to have as a player.
What sort of an influence and character has Ben been off the field to the Waratahs?
Yeah, he's told me it's all right to spend about $200 for a lunch when you're on tour. He's got a great palate. Honestly, I was brought up on home cooking. I didn't know what a Michelin star was until I travelled with Robbo. But always good to find a nice restaurant to eat away from home, which is, you know, obviously a good part of touring. Finding a good golf course or something to do, going have a nice meal together, sharing a nice wine. So that's always good. And then obviously having a good laugh. Anyone knows Ben's got a good sense of humour and can give it as well as he can take it. So, you know, I think they're the off-field things, and just being a likeable person, as you mentioned. Grew up in Glenora, he's got a great family, understands what it's all about, you know, what rugby and what life's all about, and I think that's what we appreciate the most about Ben.
one player at one particular club. What's kept you at the Waratahs so long?
You know, I think each year the team gives you challenges. Every new coach has new ideas. I think, for me, it's always been a challenging environment here. It's always an environment where you want to succeed. I think right from the get-go, I was very fortunate to play in some finals footy early on with New South Wales Rugby in the 2006. I think it was playing semis. So there's always been that competitive nature there for me. I think a lot of people know me. I'm pretty competitive in everything I do. So having that competitive nature for me was something that I enjoyed being around. I enjoyed coming to training and knowing that the bloke opposite me is going to go as hard as he possibly can, try and take my spot or try and make me a better person, or vice versa, me try and make him a better person. So I think if I ever lost that competitive urge, then I'm more than happy to pull up stumps and potentially go somewhere else or whatever it is. But for me, coming in every day knowing that I'm going to be challenged, I'm going to challenge myself all the time, and right from the get-go. So that's what's kept me here all the time.
It's clearly raw now, and another you're only announcing your retirement now, but is coaching something that you look to in the future down the track?
Yeah, it's something I look at. A few people have spoken to me about that already, a few different organisations. So that's an area that I think it's an area that I'd like to give back to as well. More importantly, I think, whether it's at a junior level or more a senior level, I think, I've got a wealth of knowledge up here. It's been rattled a few times, but there's a wealth of knowledge up there that I can pass on. So I've been in touch with some good people already, around that idea as well. So for me, it's about giving back to the game. Like, I've been so lucky to play for so long and learn so much on the field, off the field as well. So I've still got a lot to give.